The balloon spun slowly, tugged by the ceiling fan overhead. It was blue, our chosen color. Safer than pink, easier than yellow. The cake beneath it had already been sliced, leaving crumbs scattered like forgotten thoughts on cheap plastic plates. Our son was giggling with frosting smeared through his hair, laughing at something only he could see. I stood nearby, smiling, pretending like I was still present, still part of it all. I said it like it was nothing, light and offhand. Looking forward to the family dinner tomorrow. Her sister blinked at me. You didn't know? She wasn't being cruel, just surprised, like I was a pet who'd missed the sound of the food bowl hitting the floor. Later, my mother-in-law showed me pictures on her phone. Faces lit up, smiles wide, glasses mid-toast. A cake nearly identical to the one at our table. Same blue frosting. I felt something shift in my chest, subtle but irreversible. Like furniture being dragged across the floor in a home you no longer live in. My wife leaned in close. Maybe next time take the hint. That was it. I walked to the door, picked up my jacket. The letter was already tucked into the inside pocket, folded with care, like a flag handed to someone after a funeral. I passed it to her without looking back. The car ride after was silent. Not hostile, not icy, just hollow. Like a movie reel spinning long after the credits have rolled. I drove to a rundown motel off Route 9. The one with the flickering neon and the vending machine that only accepted coins. The key turned in the lock like a full stop at the end of a very long sentence. Inside, the room smelled like bleach and old decisions. I sat on the edge of the bed, still in the same shirt from the party. My son's tiny fingerprints stained the sleeve with blue frosting. It looked like a bruise. She used to wake me in the mornings by running her fingers through my hair. She'd tell me I looked peaceful, like sleep softened something in me. Like it was a gift I didn't even know I needed. What she didn't know, or maybe what she ignored, was how tightly I clenched my jaw through the night. The shift between us didn't come suddenly. It was gradual, like water seeping into a room with no escape. First, it was her forgetting to reply to my messages. Then the subtle corrections she'd make around others. New passwords. Calls she took in parked cars. I tried to believe her. Tried to trust. That's what love does. It stretches, gives more than it should, offers rope when it should have tied off. But deep down I already knew. Not just about the dinner. About all of it. The way you know a tree is about to fall even before the first creak. At the motel, I brewed a cup of bitter coffee from the tiny drip machine. It tasted like cardboard and regret. I drank it anyway. The letter was just one page. No blame. No anger. Just clarity. My portion of the house signed over. A trust fund set up for our son. No demands. No games. Just space. I didn't want the couch or the table. I didn't want whatever apology she might come up with in a year or two. I wanted air. And to become the kind of man my son wouldn't have to recover from. There was this one moment I couldn't shake, months earlier in the kitchen. She was laughing, her voice easy and bright, a sound I hadn't heard in a long time. When she hung up, I asked who it was. She said it was work. But her smile lingered too long. Like it didn't belong to me anymore. I remember I was drying a plate then. I kept wiping it, even though it was already clean. The next morning, I mailed the documents. No return address. Just her name written neatly on the front. Like closing a chapter. I didn't care how she'd react. If she cried. If she got angry. This wasn't about hurting her. That was the point. I just wasn't shielding her anymore either. The motel offered weekly rates. I stayed a week, then 2. Picked up a job at the local hardware store. Steady, quiet work. I fixed things. Used my hands. It felt like breathing again. I bought a second-hand French press. Real coffee. Started running early in the mornings. No music. Just gravel under my feet, and my own breath in the cold. Every week, I wrote my son a letter. He's too young to read, but I wrote anyway. Little stories. Memories. A map for someday, when he starts asking. I saw her once in the grocery store. She didn't see me. Her cart was full of pre-cut fruit, wine, things meant for convenience. She looked the same. Maybe a little worn down. I didn't feel anger. Or grief. Just space. She was still the mother of my child, someone I'd once loved deeply. but no longer a place I needed to go back to. Life is quieter now. Mornings come slow. Birds outside. A chipped mug filled with steam. The silence is mine, not something I have to earn or explain. When I think of my son, I don't think of what I lost. I think of what I'm building. A place where one day he'll visit, and I can show him the photographs I kept. Just him and me. I'll tell him the truth. Calmly. Without bitterness. That sometimes, love doesn't end in flames. Sometimes it ends like a door closing softly behind you. And walking away. That's not weakness. It's finally learning how to listen to your own voice again.